Greetings. I'm asked to do a presentation, a plenary session on the theme of the doctoral consortium and the conference, Innovating Customer Experience in the Digital Age. I will make several comments and talk about how the digital age is actually impacting in a very positive way from a customer experience viewpoint, or taking even a customer-centric viewpoint. First of all, customer experience is the next major platform of research and teaching. It is totally displacing buying behavior, which is how we began the discipline of consumer behavior, marketing, etc. But buying and selling is still mixed up with selling. Whenever we think about a buyer, he's a buyer, there's a seller, and the traditional concepts of market exchange, economic theories, willingness to pay, all those come in primarily. I think for the first time, focusing on the experience and on the user as much as possible, not the buyer, is going to transform the discipline. And for the first time, I think selling and marketing will get divorced. Selling will still remain the buying, selling, negotiating in the B2B market, price elasticity, all the stuff we talk about, a little more on the economic side. Customer experience would be more holistic. It'll be part behavioral, part institutional or sociological, it'll be part ecosystem, and it'll be part economic. I think this is a very exciting area. So I've tried to put together a plenary presentation by looking from a customer viewpoint or a customer journey essentially. And there are 5 areas where the digital technology is going to increase both access and ease of doing business or ease of getting the experience. And we'll be at a level of customer experience that is unimaginable only 25 years ago. So here are the 5 areas. First one is just search for information. As consumers, we do search for information, whether we are renting a house, buying an automobile, or even grocery shopping. Most of the products we buy may be buying by habit. There is no need for search, but there are many encounters where we need to know, we need to have information. And even those places where we are very loyal to a brand, we constantly need reinforcement after the purchase that we have made the right. So information and search is a very key element. And today, look at the technology of Google search alone or Wikipedia, it is mind-boggling. Before I go into each one of the 5 areas, I would like to mention that there is one company that I've become pretty fond of from the customer experience viewpoint is Uber. It is absolutely incredible from search and access, procurement, shopping, actually the experience of transaction that's taking place, payment system, and ultimately the consumption. So let me go back to my theme to talk about the search. And today, just to play, I do search on all kinds of Indian things on Google, and it is there. There is no library bigger and better, more global in nature than Google or something similar to Google, any search engines by and large. And as I mentioned, Wikipedia also has become a de facto place to go for information, and mind-boggling, as I mentioned again. I often play with Gujarati words, some slang Indian languages as a family entertainment, and I find it's there. And access is so easy. Second area is, of course, shopping. Today, online shopping is making enormous difference. One-day sale in China exceeded $30 billion, unimaginable. We celebrated in America Cyber Monday, which crossed about $10 billion. In India, of course, there is a Diwali celebration online, whether it's a Flipkart, Amazon, whoever they are. Again, in shopping, the ease with which I can do shopping is so great as opposed to going to the place, fighting the traffic, fighting the crowd, standing in line to find the product, take the product, make the payment, delivery. There are so many stops. If you go to any Indian department store or a shopping center, you will see there is nothing but friction in the shopping. Here, that's not the case. More importantly, today 75% of consumers who are interested in buying an automobile actually go online first and do complete search, find out what attributes of which model and which company, etc. So they are more knowledgeable when they come to a given dealer to buy than the dealer salesman or a salesperson who is only knowledgeable about the car that they sell. I'm told that Mahindra created an online platform in India for e-commerce B2B primarily to sell all the components and the parts. And then they found out that today in big cities like Mumbai, Delhi, executives, which is their market for their SUV, have no time to go for shopping. They know what they want and they simply order it online. And the company does everything, not only accepts the order, the payment, but actually delivers the car properly licensed and ready for use. So shopping experience online is getting so much better. In fact, the digital world seems to be more exciting than the physical world. In fact, as more and more online shopping experience with proper web design, search engines, menu driven, however they do it, is becoming almost like exciting video games. I play with them just for curiosity about what is my shopping behavior. And as you know, there is of course a artificial intelligence behind a machine learning. So anytime I shop up to a point and then I do not continue, I get a reminder. I get an incentive to complete the transaction. So shopping becomes more entertainment, not just a chore. The third area is payment. In emerging markets, payment is a nightmare. But as we bypassed the PC revolution and went into mobile phones, and we bypassed the credit cards evolution because we don't have the ratings and all that stuff, and went directly online payments on platforms like Paytm or M-Pesa in Kenya or PayPal in America or Alipay in China, just goes on and on. These platforms makes the payment totally effortless. Now, it may have a danger from a societal viewpoint because it makes procurement so easy, payment so easy that one can overdo it. I know that I do that on Amazon Prime. Usually I only went to buy books, but they have a predictive analytics. They know what I like. They encourage me to buy similar books. If I have an interest in this book, I must have, but I have not transcended beyond the books. I now buy a lot of merchandise, healthcare products over the counter. And of course, you have the Amazon Prime entertainment side, the whole streaming service, which I have not yet dabbled myself in, but it looks very exciting. So the payment system is again effortless, easy to do business with. Next area is consumption, and I think it is the next frontier. Rashi Sodia, my colleague, and I have written way back in 2004, like a science fiction article called Automation of Consumption with a subtitle, Assisted Living for All. In other words, assisted living we thought was only for elderly people who cannot take care in a nursing home where you need a staff of people to take care of the person. Today, assisted living for all is a reality, especially because of artificial intelligence. I see, for example, more and more sale of robotic vacuum cleaners. Roomba probably has sold more than 1 million units. And more importantly, we see the day very soon, within the next 5 years to 10 years, a artificial intelligence based robot companion. Robot companion would be more interactive, more emotive, surprisingly, than a real pet or a real person. So, consumption is at its infancy. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality to some extent, robotic, smart robots are all likely to increase the experience, customer experience, as consumption or as consumers or as users. And the last area, which is still untouched, both from a research viewpoint as well as in practice, but it is happening, is disposal, waste management. Typically, discretionary, I mean, the daily necessities like eating, for example, garbage disposal. Rather than go to the landfill, and landfill, everything is very inefficient. It's all electromechanical so far or mechanical. How can you make it smart? We can do it with fintech in financial things. We do it in retailing quite a lot with online procurement and e-commerce. The most exciting area is to use technology to do the waste management from end to end. So we don't have then the problem of sustainability, or we minimize the problem, such as discarding plastic bottles, which all go into the ocean, creating enormous amount of pollution. It all can be managed with digital technology. So I'm very fascinated about the sustainability aspect, which is the last frontier from consumption to disposition. And that is true of appliances, that is true of automobiles, for example, big to durable items, furniture, etc. And I've been quite impressed, maybe even pleasantly surprised, that at least in the US market, the new millennium primarily don't want to buy things. Ownership doesn't excite them. Possession doesn't excite them. So they're all buying rental products. People are renting garments, clothing. People are renting furniture. So Uberization of consumption of everything is absolutely mind-boggling change. So overall, customer experience is the future. In these 5 areas, I think there are significant amount of research opportunities, especially in emerging markets which are greenfield. Everything is brand new, and a small experiment, a small intervention, either through public policy or through marketing and capitalism process, would be very exciting. I do want to add that in this area, it is so massive transition that will require both public policy and investment in infrastructure. So you have to have networks, let's say from 4G to 5G, not for entertainment as much, but for daily living in a more positive customer experience, more inclusive in the nature, to the cell phones and smartphones, to in fact putting enterprise hardware and software to make things smart. We have the autonomous automobiles, which are happening worldwide, driverless cars, smart cars. So more innovation in customer experience may happen in the automobile more so than in the office or even at home. But it is there. I have participated in many research projects for companies in this area, and to me, it's an exciting new frontier. So I'm so glad that my colleagues, Vikumar, Professor Shukla, and the BIMTech team all agreed that this year's theme ought to be more on customer experience and how new innovation can come in or will happen because of the digital technology. Digital technology is more democratic, more inclusive. It does not recognize gender, does not recognize faith, does not recognize age even surprisingly, or literacy. And therefore it's a flattening of the nation from the rural population to the urban population, from the wealthy segment of the population to the poor segment. And platforms like Aadhaar in India or similar platforms in other countries, maybe more commercial, really are building the backbone for more and more digitally enabled customer experiences. Thank you very much. And again, I'm so sorry I cannot be there in person. I think the whole doctoral consortium and the conference that follows on Monday will be very exciting.